2000 Mules was a 2022 movie which claimed it could show voter fraud through complicated technical analysis of phone data. What that means is the average viewer doesn't have the tools to independently assess their methods. There are a lot of people who have carefully gone through the major claims of this movie and shown them to be either false or misleading, and I'll include some links below, but I want to point out a damaging issue that you can verify for yourself. When the filmmakers are discussing Gwinnett County, which is in the Atlanta, Georgia metropolitan area, they show you a map that includes data points they claim to have compiled from their extensive and detailed research. But oddly, the map they show when they were talking about Georgia is a map of the Russian capital, Moscow. They show this map in several different shots where they have reversed the image, and in a couple of cases also rotated it by either 90 or even 180 degrees. In other words, this is not a matter of that someone in graphics mistakenly included the wrong file. It has been manipulated in several different ways. Further, you might imagine that someone hostile to their project added these images after the fact in the editing room. Except for in one of the film shots, you clearly see Greg Phillips, who claims to be the election integrity expert who has spent countless hours on this project, interacting with this image of Moscow, which also includes the cell phone data points. In addition to that, you also see an inset image that they identify in the film as being a Dropbox in Gwinnett County on top of the Moscow map. In other words, the filmmakers are clearly interacting with this map of Moscow while they talk about Georgia. If you want to see these images for yourself, they are mostly around the 38-minute mark. I'm not sure if that applies to the more recent deluxe edition, which they may have re-edited. For me, there are only two possible conclusions. One is that these filmmakers are so sloppy with their information that they couldn't tell a map of Moscow, which has a river flowing right through the middle of it, from one of Gwinnett County, which does not. But that's too obvious an error. Remember, they're claimed to be experts on the data as it pertains to these maps and the Dropbox locations in them. That's their whole argument. More likely is they thought they could get away with creating so convoluted an argument about voter fraud that they could even slip in a map of Moscow and no one would notice. It's more likely that they were so disrespectful of people who were sincerely looking for evidence of voter fraud that they could put up whatever map they wanted, and honest people would still pay $20 for information they thought was important for the health of our country.